Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee have a lot going for them. It looks like these games are going to have more features and more things to do than any other main series Pokemon game, and I find that awesome. Whether it's mastering the new Pokemon Go catching mechanics or just training Pokemon in new ways for a Pokemon Stadium style battle experience, I think these games are going to be pretty great. So what I want to do is talk about my top 10 favorite features so far with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, share with all your friends. Almost 2 weeks until these games come out, so this is where you put it on blast. Just tweet it, Facebook it, get this video out to everyone because these games are hype. Also, don't forget to comment your favorite things about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And with that out of the way, let's get on to the list with number 10, the Pokeball Plus. The Pokeball Plus is such a beautiful piece of technology that the Pokewalker is one of the greatest things that Game Freak has ever given us, and the Pokeball Plus has even more care put into it. It has even more functionality, which is something that's hard to imagine if you think about the launch of Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver and how far technology has come, and then Game Freak's like, sure, let's go and update it. Let's go and bring Pokemon into the real world like never before. So it was built to feel as much like a Pokeball as possible, which is pretty cool, but then it has all kinds of features behind it. So it's kind of like a Pokewalker. It doesn't have a little screen on it, but it does give you benefit. You go on a stroll with your Pokemon, you can actually feel like your Pokemon is with you, and then you get benefit in the main series games. On top of that, it's also a Pokemon Go Plus. So we get $30 of value right there out of it, and that means now you have like another way of showing people, hey, I'm a Pokemon fan, I'm out playing Pokemon Go right now, who wants to hang out and talk about Pokemon? So it really just kind of brings this experience together, and then on top of all that, it's a controller. You can use the Pokeball Plus to play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. With all that added up, it is well over $50 worth of value, which means the Mew that you get for it is freer than free, and it just adds to the experience. So dedicated Pokemon fans are getting awesome amounts of reward, they're also getting incredible amounts of value, and it's just this piece of hardware that is the best of a lot of the best things that we've seen in Pokemon so far, and that's why it makes it on the list. Number 9, Gym Requirements. Now, I don't understand the hate around gym requirements, because when you actually look at it rationally, when you look at the facts of gym requirements, it's only a good thing, because it's already been confirmed that it's not only going to be you get a super effective advantage and then you win the game for free. So right there, it's already debunked that gym requirements make the game easier, and it proves this game is only for young kids and stuff. So with that out of the way, we can only expand on the good about gym requirements. Off the official Pokemon website, to challenge a gym, you need to meet certain conditions presented at the entrance. Although the conditions of each gym vary, such as having Pokemon of certain types or levels, fulfilling them will get you ready to battle the gym leader. So what I like about this is that we already know it's going to be more than types, and it's also going to be more than levels. So at some point, you're going to have a level requirement, which means there's challenge involved. So that means there's actually more that you have to do to get ready for gym instead of just kind of blasting through the game, and it encourages you to actually play and enjoy Pokemon, even if you look at the Brock gym requirements. Well, grass or water type Pokemon, we've already seen from various gameplay that Psyduck is available in Viridian Forest. So you grab a Psyduck, there's your water type Pokemon, you're good to go. Also, we've seen Oddish, Bulbasaur, there's probably some other grass and water type Pokemon maybe around the other routes and stuff as we go into the game. And the thing is, catching a water type Pokemon or catching a grass type Pokemon doesn't mean that you instantly win against Brock. That level 4 Oddish isn't really going to do much against Brock's level 12 Onix. And then the kicker is, you don't even have to use that Pokemon against Brock. You just show it to the league official to kind of show, hey, I'm not just blasting through and disrespecting this game, I'm enjoying the entire experience, and then you can choose to make the game harder for yourself if you want it that way. So overall, I can't wait to see all the different ways that the game is going to send us challenges through these gym requirements, and then what that means for actually enjoying more of the game. So it's only a good thing, and I don't understand why people are so upset about that. Number 8. The amount of care that has gone into the games with what we have seen so much. That another thing I don't understand is just the disrespect that people have towards Game Freak. That from everything we've seen, it looks like every detail, that they know they're taking a risk. They know they're going out of the way and doing something crazy with these games, and because of that, every detail has been ironed out and fine-tuned to where the games actually have a lot going for them. So far what we've seen is that after Misty, the gyms and the trainer battles are going to get harder. So we have scaling levels on the gym leaders, you know. We also have like scaling Pokemon advantages. That Erica is a very interesting example because in Yellow version, she had fully evolved Pokemon, but they were lower level. And then in Pokemon Red and Blue version, she didn't have fully evolved Pokemon, but they were also slightly higher level than what we saw in Yellow version. Well, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee combines both of that. We have the highest level Pokemon she's ever used, and to fully evolve Vileplume, as well as having 2 other Pokemon. So this is going to make the difficulty of Erica slightly higher. And then there's also super trainers. So not master trainers, but just as you play through the game, there's going to be challenging trainers that have much higher level, much stronger Pokemon than the average trainers in the area. So it adds a bit of extra challenge, and that kind of scales with the experience share that we see inside of the games. Now another thing I think is really cool is just people and their Pokemon walking around. That Pokemon follow you in this game, but they also follow their trainers, their NPCs, and they're just kind of engaging in the world. This one lady has an Onix in her house, and it's in the scale. Like, that's what an Onix would be like if it was in your house, and hopefully not destroying everything. We see on Cycling Road or Cycling Park, whatever the new cycling area is, because you don't have to throw out a bike because bikes don't appear to be in this game. You can ride your Pokemon instead. We have people with their Pokemon just out and about having a good time, and we have all the evolutions with their trainers, and it adds so much to the world. Also, we have little bits of extra events that are going around. So we've already seen that in Pewter City, you can watch the Slowpoke. Doesn't really take any kind of skill or requirement. You just watch a dopey Pokemon do nothing, and then you get a big pearl. So what that means is there's going to be steady forms of gold income, or at least money income, and then you're not going to run out of money, so you can always buy a Pokeball to always catch Pokemon to advance to the area. But on top of that, whenever you beat trainers, you get more Pokeballs, and whenever you catch Pokemon, you get items to help you catch more Pokemon. So everything is thought out. People are saying, what happens if you run out of Pokeballs, you can't progress? Impossible. It's an impossibility from what we've seen, so that shows that the game is taking care of you right there. There's other ways of getting money, there's other ways of just kind of bringing your experience together while also making it more challenging, and I absolutely love that. Number 7, Pokemon following you. It's kind of weird because with the announcement of Pokemon following you, it wasn't super hype for me, because it felt like it was just going to happen at some point. After the incredible success and perfection of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you know, it's like, well, what happens if we have 3D Pokemon following you? Like, it's amazing how much of an experience Heart Gold, Soul Silver was. It was just pixels. It was just sprites of the Pokemon following you, but that felt amazing. It felt like you were having a real Pokemon adventure right there, and now we're just scaling it into better graphics and better immersion, and then now you can also ride some of those Pokemon, which takes it up to the next level, and I think that's pretty cool. You can ride around your Charizard, Dragonite, Arcanine, all kinds of Pokemon, and that just kind of shows like you can either have your favorite Pokemon following you, or you can just be riding atop one of the coolest Pokemon and really showing what you're made of. But then there's some other things that are going on, that Pokemon following you can scavenge for items and find something in bushes and find something in little areas. So now there's benefit. Now instead of just like turning around talking to Pokemon and then seeing a little smiley face, they have more expression, they have more interaction. It makes you want to engage with your Pokemon more, and then you end up getting rewards because of it. So that kind of also ties into how everything about the games is really well thought out. And that's not just, you know, standard Pokemon animations of them following you. Each Pokemon has their own unique animation that really sells their personality. We have Gengar floating behind you all hauntingly. We have Electrode just straight up rolling around. Magikarp is flopping. Everything just seems like it's going to be great and tied together, and I absolutely love that. Number 6, Overworld Pokemon Encounters. These are just amazing. Like, people have been asking for this for a while, you know, hey, why can't we see Pokemon in the wild? And we've kind of been getting that with some of like the phenomenons and overworld anomalies that we see, and then it could be a Pokemon or it could be an item or something like that. But now we have true, no random encounters. You run up to a Pokemon, you catch it experience in Pokemon, and what I love about it is how dynamic the world is. That each Pokemon behaves differently. You chase a Pokemon, it could just run into the grass and disappear forever. A Pokemon could chase you down when you don't want to be encountering anything. You just want to be progressing on your adventure, and then you get run down. You can get trapped by multiple Pokemon just kind of like bullying you into a corner, but also the Pokemon, they behave however they want. In one of the demos, we saw #derp Pidgeotto, where it just kind of flew into a corner and then got stuck in that corner. and I like that. It reminds me of Breath of the Wild. It reminds me of some kind of open world-ish, sandbox-ish adventure where anything is possible, and people are going to come out of Let's Go with these hilarious stories of how they caught Pokemon or how Pokemon caught them, and the Pidgeotto AI just kind of shows that it's freeform, that there's a lot of opportunity for things to happen. But then through other gameplay, we've seen some incredibly adorable, I don't even know how to put it, like, just wonderful expressions of Pokemon and how Pokemon works through this. So, standing still, an Eevee just curiously comes running into the player and then starts the encounter, and the encounter is done differently as well. That we see Eevee come in from off screen instead of just be already there like the encounter has started. So Eevee just hops up to you and then you get a chance to catch it. That's precious. I don't know how else to say it. It's just one of the coolest things, and it shows how thought out this game is on every single detail to make it a perfect Pokemon adventure for all Pokemon fans. And then you can just kind of see from other gameplay, I think there's been like 14 Pokemon on screen at a time that you run into a bush, and then like 10 Pokemon just pop up and you have to deal with it. I think that adds lots to the gameplay. I think that really brings the world together, and I think that is amazing. Number 5. Catch combos. Now, we don't have full information on the catch combos, but I like that there is more going on with Pokemon that is reminiscent of other main series Pokemon games, because we have SOS chaining, we just have chaining in general, we have Dex Nav, we have all these, like, chain fishing, we have all these things where if you're doing something and then catching multiple Pokemon in a row, you get various rewards, and that is still inside of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So we have this from the Eurogamer interview. What would you say players have been playing for 20 years, or players who got into it a bit later? Should they wait for next year's RPG? To those fans, we'd mention the catch combo, mechanic whereby you catch the same Pokemon multiple times in a row, get various rewards and benefits for that. Now, we don't know the exact rewards and benefits, but likely higher shiny chance of Pokemon to spawn, maybe better IVs, maybe more candy rewards, maybe higher level Pokemon, maybe egg moves or some kind of other exclusive moves that you can get through that way, but it adds to where now there's more gameplay. Now, if you want to build a team of Pokemon, these are the extra steps that you're going to have to take. It's not monotonous like breeding, but it also is something to where it isn't completely free, and it adds to your Pokemon adventure to where you have to be a skilled Pokemon master to be able to get the strongest Pokemon, and I think that is really cool. Number 4, the candy system. This is a beautiful way of incorporating a Pokemon Go mechanic and also listening to player feedback. One thing I don't understand about the hate about Let's Go is that when you look at it, almost everything that players have been begging Game Freak to do for years is inside of Pokemon Let's Go. It's done in an experimental way, and then it gets hated for absolutely no reason. But now we have a replacement to EV training and grinding and potentially IV breeding inside of candies, to where everything you do is rewarded. You catch a lot of one Pokemon, you send them away, you get candies, and then you can use that to train other Pokemon, so effectively EV training, but in a different way. There's also different ways to snowball this, that if you send same species of Pokemon, it seems like you can get other candy benefits, and we don't really know how that's going to work. There's also all kinds of weird things. So we have rare candies, we have regular candies, we have species candies, we have large candies, and all of those are going to be ways of just kind of making your Pokemon stronger in a very interactive way, other than mindlessly grinding through EVs or breeding and stuff like that. So far what we've seen is there's also a lot of different ways of obtaining candies as well. Catching Pokemon, sending Pokemon to the professor, sending same species to the professor, Pokemon Go Park, or taking a Pokemon on a stroll. Pokemon Go Park, if you have 25 Pokemon brought in from Pokemon Go, you can actually do a mini game, and then you herd up all your Pokemon, and then you receive a lot of candy that way. That might be how you get species candy. That seems very likely, but maybe also sending same species of Pokemon to the professor gives you multiple species candy, and then those can have massive benefits as well. So overall, you just play the game, and you get rewards on top of rewards, and then it just makes it to where now you're ready for competitive, or now you're ready for late game Pokemon experience, and I think that's pretty awesome. Number 3, shiny hunting. So it's already been confirmed that shiny Pokemon will appear in the overworld, and that is going to add so much insanity to the shiny hunting inside the games. And we've already seen it through gameplay demos, that there was a shiny Weedle in one of the random gameplay demos, and also when people have been going out and playing the Viridian Forest demo at like E3, PAX, or this road trip that Nintendo's doing, people have been finding and encountering shiny Pokemon. Still pretty rare, but also something that you have to actively engage in, because if you scare off that Pokemon, that shiny is gone forever if you don't see it, because that's what happened with this Japanese gameplay. They just simply didn't see it. It has a special aura, it's going to be a different color, but people haven't recognized that. So if you're going to be shiny hunting, you have to be paying extra attention. You're going to be having to kind of engage with this in a different way, and it's not just going to be a massive RNG fest of, hey, I do 5,000 resets, oh, finally we get a shiny Pokemon, or hey, I hatch 1,000 eggs, cool, one of them happened to be shiny. Now it's an actual shiny hunt. And I think that's amazing, and then you also have to pay attention to all the Pokemon on screen. Like I mentioned before, with the overworld encounters, there's a lot of dynamic things happening, and there could be over a dozen Pokemon on screen, and they're spawning, despawning, so I can't wait to see the methods that people will use to optimize the shiny hunting. Like, is entering and exiting a route to respawn Pokemon, is that going to be the fastest way? You know, if you get all the Pokemon, or at least complete the Pokedex in some way, do you get a shiny charm? Does that make it more likely? Are there going to be extra items to where if you activate like a special lure module, it slightly increases the chance of getting shiny Pokemon, and then just all the cool things about that. So shiny hunting tech is definitely going to have its own special way of happening in Let's Go, and there's definitely going to be many fails from people scaring them off, getting blocked in by like 3 other Pokemon, not being able to make it in time, and it's going to be cool to see how the shiny Pokemon end up playing out from there. Number 2, Master Trainers. This is one of the coolest, craziest, biggest features I think that we've ever seen in a Pokemon main series game post-game, because every single Kanto Pokemon, all 151 of them, have a Master Trainer, and it's going to be a no items, same species, high-level mirror match to where they can actually be bringing special moves against you, and then it's just going to be you have to fight hard for that title. Now, there's going to be some that are trivialized, like 4 times super effective hits, and then you just get the outspeed and win, or something like a one-hit KO, but the rest of them, you know, there's going to be somewhat where, like, the Pokemon just don't have any advantage against each other, so having that Master title is going to be pretty cool. It also gives you something to do, that instead of just grinding the Elite Four forever, you get stronger Pokemon through the candies, through all these leveling systems, through all these other gameplay elements that we've seen. You get that stronger Pokemon, and then you can take your favorite Pokemon and become the Master, or you go for all 151. People are going to do it, and that is going to be insane, and I can't wait to see how that happens. And there's just going to be some completely meme ones. At the end of the trailer, we see a Metapod matchup. Harden. Electroweb could disrupt that, but we're going to see like where the move tutor comes into play and where the egg moves come into play and how that's going to happen, but I like this. It's the biggest challenge that we've seen in the post-game, and it answers another complaint that people have had about main series Pokemon games. Give us more to do. Well, that's a lot to do. Yeah, you want to get 1 or 2 titles, that's going to add hours of gameplay right there, and I think that's awesome on top of the other hours and hours and hours and gameplay features that there are inside the games. Last second honorable mention to the video, apparently, because I recorded this before the Nintendo Direct, which means it was also before the Nintendo Treehouse exclusive Pokemon Let's Go gameplay, where we got one of the greatest features to ever be introduced in Pokemon. You can pay 10,000 Pokédollars, you can determine a nature, and then those Pokemon will appear for a certain amount of time with that nature. That is what people have been asking for. That is such an amazing feature, makes competitive more accessible, makes the grinding for the proper Pokemon just a little less annoying, and it just works so well. So if you want to watch the full video of my reaction to this announcement, you can find a description down below. We don't know the full details, but it's just incredible either way. Let's get on to number 1. And then my number 1 favorite thing about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee that we've seen so far is Pokemon Go integration. And I'm talking about the items mostly, because it's already been confirmed that there's a lure module inside of Pokemon Let's Go. So perhaps more practical is the lure, a new item that follows the Spirit of Pokemon Go items of the same name, draws out rare Pokemon, making them more likely to appear. Buying lures from Pokemon Mart seems like a great investment. We're eager to see what other items appear deeper in the Kanto region. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like raid passes or something. You can catch stronger Pokemon by battling them, and then the raid unlocks that. Or maybe there's advanced lure modules that make rare Pokemon, shiny Pokemon. Something else happen, just maybe higher spawns in general. That could maybe be like the shiny module, is that it like doubles the cap, or 1.5 times the cap of Pokemon that can appear. Maybe they appear and despawn faster, so that we can cycle through them for better Pokemon to appear. And then you chain that with the catch combos, you chain that with all the other crazy things going on, and I really think that this is going to go somewhere, because Pokemon Go did introduce a lot of great ideas to Pokemon, and remember, Pokemon Go was made for Pokemon fans. It kind of became mainstream through just it controlling and taking over the world, but at its core, Pokemon Go is the true Pokemon experience that we wanted. We wanted to run outside and simulate an experience where we're playing Pokemon in the real world. Pokemon Go does that, brings it to the main series game, and now we have all these cool features that just add staggering amounts of gameplay, staggering amounts of possibility to Let's Go. That's what keeps me very excited. I'm also thinking about the items. There's so many different kinds of berries. Are you going to go for the Nana berry to make it easier to catch? Are you going to go for the pineapple berry and then get more candies that way to make your training experience even better? Going to make the Pokemon easier to capture? Are we going to see other items that have been like teased and not introduced? And then on top of that, we have lure module, we have extra berries, we're going to be getting berries from catching Pokemon, extra Pokeballs from battling trainers. Everything is a reward. Everything is there to make you appreciate Pokemon, and that includes the Let's Go mechanics. And as for the actual catching, you know, not battling a Pokemon, I think battling has become very trivialized over the last decade or so when it comes to Pokemon. You quick ball everything, you false swipe it, you just grind them down for EVs. So with this, you're actually out playing Pokemon. You're trying to catch them all. You're becoming a Pokemon master. You're not just doing this repetitive, overly grindy, kind of takes away from the spirit of Pokemon mechanics stuff. You're actually out there engaging with the game, and I think that's something amazing. So removing battles doesn't really change anything. We have harder trainers, we still have Pokemon battles for fighting legendaries and potentially raid battles and stuff like that. We have master trainers, we have super trainers, we have just all kinds of challenges that have been added into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So being able to just dial it back and have a more fun experience on the catching system doesn't make the game easier, just makes it a more immersive, wholesome Pokemon experience, and that's kind of it. So yeah, there's also a few things I didn't add on the list because I think these are the top 10 more important, and that also doesn't include the things that we haven't seen yet before the launch of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So hope you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day, thank you very much for watching.